Ever thought Ohio was just another ordinary state? Think again. Most people picture endless cornfields, maybe a couple of big cities like Cleveland or Cincinnati, but I'm telling you, that's not even half the story. We're about to peel back the layers on this place and show you something absolutely insane. Beyond the farmland, college towns, and old industrial cities, Ohio hides a much wilder side than you'd expect. We're talking about towns built around giant pumpkins, islands that turn into massive parties, and places so haunted they'll make your skin crawl. You won't believe what we found lurking just off the main highways. This isn't your grandma's road trip through the Midwest. We sent our team out to uncover the most bizarre, quirky, and downright strange communities in the entire state. We're going to explore a castle built by one guy, a town that inspired one of the most famous comics ever, and another one that literally calls itself Hell. This is the real, unfiltered Ohio, the stuff they don't want you to see. I promise you, by the end of this video, you will never look at this state the same way again. It's a journey into the heart of American eccentricity. So, get ready. If you're ready to explore the side of Ohio that doesn't show up in tourist brochures, the proudly weird side that'll make you think, how does this even exist? Then take a deep breath, because what you're about to see is a countdown of 15 of the weirdest towns in Ohio. We're starting this crazy adventure right now. Let's step into the world. Kicking off our list at number 15 is a town that looks like it's straight out of a perfect little snow globe, Chagrin Falls. Seriously, look at this place. It's got the pristine town square, the cute little shops, the ice cream parlors. It feels almost too perfect. But the weird part isn't what you see at first glance. It's what this town inspired. This idyllic setting, with its cozy small-town vibe, was the childhood home of Bill Watterson, the genius who created the legendary comic strip, Calvin and Hobbes. That's right. The world of a boy and his tiger was born right here. When you walk around, you can almost see the inspiration everywhere. The rolling hills on the edge of town look just like the ones Calvin would go sledding down on his toboggan, screaming his head off. The wooded areas feel like the forests where he and Hobbes would have their deep philosophical discussions. The whole town has this undercurrent of playful mischief hidden just beneath its polished surface. It's like everyone here is in on a secret, knowing their picture-perfect home gave birth to one of the most imaginative worlds in comic history. But the centerpiece, the thing that gives the town its name, is a real-life, roaring waterfall right in the middle of downtown. You can be grabbing a coffee and literally hear the water crashing down just a few feet away. It's this incredible mix of manicured suburbia and raw, natural power. It's beautiful for sure, but it's also a little strange to have such a powerful force of nature just casually hanging out next to a popcorn shop. It's this blend of the ordinary and the extraordinary that makes Chagrin Falls so unique. So while it might look polished and proper, Chagrin Falls has this quirky, creative energy bubbling just underneath. It's a town that proves that even the most perfect-looking places can have a wild imagination. It's the kind of place that makes you wonder what other incredible stories are hiding in plain sight. It's the perfect start to our journey into Ohio's weird side, a reminder that things aren't always what they seem. We're just getting started, and believe me, it only gets stranger from here. Alright, for number 14, we're heading down to Loveland, and this one is just insane. You're driving through typical Ohio suburbia, you see normal houses, strip malls, and then bam, out of absolutely nowhere, there is a literal medieval castle. I'm not kidding. It's called the Loveland Castle, or Chateau La Roche, and it wasn't built by some ancient king, it was built by one guy. His name was Harry D. Andrews, and he was a World War I medic who was so obsessed with medieval history that he spent over 50 years building this thing by hand. He used stones from the nearby Little Miami River and concrete blocks he made himself in milk cartons. This guy was dedicated on another level. He even started his own group of modern-day knights, called the Knights of the Golden Trail, who were supposed to uphold the ideals of chivalry and live by a code of honor. When you visit, you can see the swords on the walls, the suits of armor, and the winding stone staircases. It feels like you've been teleported to another time, but then you look out the window and see a minivan drive by. It's a total mind-bender. The inside is just as wild as the outside. There are secret passages, a dungeon, and all sorts of medieval-style rooms that Harry designed and built himself. He lived in the castle until he died in his 90s, and the whole place is now run by the knights he founded. They give tours, and tell you all these crazy stories about Harry and his vision. They're super passionate about preserving his legacy, which is basically the legacy of a guy who just decided one day, you know what this Ohio suburb needs? A giant stone castle. This place is the definition of weird and wonderful. It's a testament to the power of a single person's obsession. Most people dream of doing something crazy, but this guy actually did it. He built a fantasy world in his own backyard. The Loveland Castle is a landmark of pure, unapologetic eccentricity, a giant stone middle finger to the ordinary, and for that, it easily earns its spot on our list. How could a real-life castle in Ohio not be here? Coming in at number 13, we have a town that operates on a completely different frequency from the rest of Ohio, Yellow Springs. The moment you step into this place, you feel it. The energy is just different. It's like someone took a little piece of 1960s San Francisco and dropped it right in the middle of the heartland. The whole town is a vibrant explosion of color, art, and progressive ideas. Forget conformity. This place threw the rulebook out decades ago and never looked back. The streets are lined with indie bookstores, quirky little shops selling handmade jewelry and tie-dye everything, and cafes where people are having intense conversations about philosophy and social justice. You'll see murals on the sides of buildings, street performers playing music, and more people on bicycles than in cars. It's home to Antioch College, which has a long history of radical thinking, and that spirit has completely saturated the entire town. It's a place where being different isn't just accepted, it's celebrated. What makes Yellow Springs truly weird, in the best way possible, is its commitment to its own unique vibe. In a state that can often feel very traditional, this town is a beacon of counterculture. They have their own independent movie theater, a community radio station, and a massive street fair twice a year that draws people from all over. It's a self-contained ecosystem of creativity. You can spend a whole day just wandering around, discovering weird little art installations and talking to fascinating people who have chosen to make this quirky oasis their home. Surrounding the town are beautiful nature preserves, like Glen Helen and John Bryan State Park, so you get this amazing mix of bohemian village life and stunning natural beauty. You can go from discussing poetry in a coffee shop to hiking by a waterfall in 10 minutes. Yellow Springs is a place that proves you can build a community around art, nature, and just being a little bit weird. It's an escape, a breath of fresh, patchouli-scented air, and a must-see for anyone who thinks Ohio is all buttoned up and boring. At number 12, we're visiting a town that's not just weird because of what it is today, but because of what it's always been, Oberlin. This small town might seem quiet, but its history is seriously loud. This place has been a hub of radical progressive change for almost 200 years. It's home to Oberlin College, which was actually the first college in America to regularly admit both women and African American students. We're talking about the 1830s. That was completely unheard of back then. The entire town was a major stop on the Underground Railroad. That legacy of forward thinking is honestly baked into the DNA of Oberlin. The whole town feels like a living, breathing university campus. The line between where the college ends and the town begins is, well, totally blurred. You'll see students and residents mingling in the town square, debating politics, and planning community projects. There's this intense, intellectual energy everywhere you go. It's a place where ideas are the main currency, and challenging the status quo is just a normal Tuesday afternoon. The architecture itself is a strange mix. You have these beautiful, historic 19th century buildings right next to super modern experimental structures like the college's Conservatory of Music. One of the weirdest and coolest things is the art rental program at the college's museum. For $5 a semester, students can rent original works of art by Picasso, Warhol, and Dali to hang in their dorm rooms. Can you imagine having a real Picasso just chilling above your messy desk? It's insane. Oberlin is a town where history feels incredibly present, and the future is always being debated. It's a place that takes itself very seriously, but in a way that's fascinating to witness. It's a town-sized open forum, a bubble of intense creativity and social consciousness that feels totally unique in Ohio, and maybe even the country. It's weird because it's so earnestly and relentlessly dedicated to being a force for change, and it has been for centuries. Now we're heading to a place that, honestly, perfectly blends college town fun with some seriously spooky vibes. At number 11 it's Athens, Ohio. By day, it's the quintessential home of Ohio University, with brick streets, bustling cafes, and students literally everywhere. But when the sun goes down, a completely different side of Athens comes out to play. This town is widely considered one of the most haunted places in the entire country, and the stories are absolutely chilling. The local folklore here is on a whole other level. The epicenter of the creepiness is an old abandoned mental asylum that looms on a hill overlooking the town, known as the Ridges. This place operated for over a century, and the stories about the treatments and the patients who lived and died there are the stuff of nightmares. The most famous legend is the stain of a female patient who disappeared and was found weeks later, her body having left a permanent outline on the floor, that supposedly can still be seen today. People claim to hear voices and see apparitions all over the campus that now occupies the grounds. But the weirdness isn't just limited to ghosts. Athens is home to the single largest Halloween celebration in the country. I'm talking about the Athens Halloween Block Party, where tens of thousands of people descend on Court Street for a massive, chaotic costume party that shuts down the entire town. It's like Mardi Gras, but with more zombies and witches. The whole town embraces its spooky reputation and turns it into the biggest party of the year. It's an incredible spectacle of organized chaos. So you have this bizarre combination, a fun-loving college town full of youthful energy, sitting right next to some of the most haunted land in America, all wrapped up in a love for a massive, wild Halloween bash. It's also surrounded by the stunning wilderness of the Hocking Hills region, adding another layer of rugged, mysterious beauty. Athens is weird because it's a place of such extreme contrasts. It's a party town, a haunted town, and a nature town all rolled into one, and it doesn't apologize for any of it. For our number 10 spot, we're taking a sharp turn into something completely unexpected. Get ready to leave Ohio behind because we're entering Sugar Creek, also known as the Little Switzerland of Ohio, and they are not messing around with that nickname. You drive into this town, and suddenly you're surrounded by Swiss-style chalet architecture, flower boxes overflowing with geraniums, and the faint sound of polka music. It's a full-on immersion into Swiss culture in the middle of Amish country. The commitment to the theme is what makes this place so wonderfully weird. The buildings have intricate woodwork, the street signs are in a German-style font, and there are murals depicting alpine scenes everywhere. It's home to a bunch of cheese shops where you can sample world-class Swiss cheese, and bakeries selling traditional Swiss pastries. The whole town feels like a theme park, but the people who live and work here are genuinely celebrating their Swiss and German heritage. It's not just for tourists, it's their identity. But the absolute peak of Sugar Creek's weirdness is the world's largest cuckoo clock. This thing is massive, over 23 feet tall, and it's right in the center of town. Every half hour the doors swing open, and a little wooden band emerges and plays a polka tune while a couple dances. A crowd always gathers to watch it, and it's this incredibly charming and bizarre spectacle. It's impossible not to smile when you see it. It's the kind of roadside attraction that feels like it's from another era. Sugar Creek is a delightful cultural anomaly. It's nestled in Ohio's Amish country. So, you have this surreal experience of seeing a horse and buggy trot past a building that looks like it was plucked from the Alps. It's a town that decided to embrace its heritage in the most over-the-top way possible, and the result is a place that's completely unforgettable. It's a little slice of Europe you'd never expect to find, and it's a perfect example of Ohio's hidden quirky side. Get ready for a town that takes its love for a vegetable to a whole new level. Coming in at number 9 is Circleville, a place that, for 51 weeks of the year, is a pretty normal Ohio town. But for 1 week in October, it transforms into the pumpkin capital of the world. I'm talking about the Circleville Pumpkin Show, an event so massive and so important to the town's identity that they call it the greatest free show on earth. And when they say pumpkin show, they mean it. Everything is pumpkin. This isn't just a few pumpkin pies and some jack-o'-lanterns. This is absolute pumpkin pandemonium. They have parades with pumpkin-themed floats, contests for the biggest pumpkin. We're talking gourds that weigh over 2,000 pounds, and you can buy literally any food you can imagine in pumpkin form. Pumpkin donuts, pumpkin chili, pumpkin burgers, pumpkin pizza, pumpkin ice cream, pumpkin everything. People plan their entire year around this festival. Schools close, businesses shut down, and the entire town dedicates itself to celebrating this one orange vegetable. The sheer scale of it is what makes it so weird. Hundreds of thousands of people flood this small town, to see the spectacle. One of the strangest and most iconic sights is the pumpkin show parade, where you can see local high school girls dressed in elaborate gowns with giant, hollowed-out pumpkins on their heads. It's a tradition that's both bizarre and deeply cherished. Imagine trying to explain that to someone who's never seen it. Yeah, we put pumpkins on our heads. It's what we do. Circleville's identity is completely and utterly intertwined with this festival. The town's water tower is even painted to look like a giant pumpkin. It's a level of civic pride and dedication to a theme that is almost unbelievable. It's a town that proves that if you love something enough, you can build an entire world around it, even if that something is just a pumpkin. It's a joyful, slightly insane celebration that you have to see to believe. You probably don't associate Ohio with island life and wild parties, but that's because you haven't been to our number 8 spot, Put-in Bay. This tiny village is located on South Bass Island in the middle of Lake Erie, and for a few months every summer it transforms into one of the biggest party destinations in the entire Midwest. People call it the Key West of the North, or Ohio's own little Las Vegas. It's a place where the main mode of transportation is a golf cart, and there are more bars per capita than almost anywhere else. Getting there is part of the adventure. You have to take a ferry, and as you get closer, you can almost feel the energy shift. The island is only a few square miles, but it is packed with bars, restaurants, and people looking to have a good time. During the day, it's a charming lakeside town with wineries and historical sites, like a massive monument commemorating a naval battle from the War of 1812. But once the sun starts to set, the main strip, Delaware Avenue, becomes a massive outdoor party. The weirdness comes from the sheer concentration of revelry in such a small, isolated place. You can rent a 6-person golf cart and just bar hop all day and night. There are bars with swim-up pools, bars with live bands on every corner, and an anything-goes atmosphere that feels a world away from mainland Ohio. It's a seasonal explosion of hedonism. In the winter, the island becomes a ghost town, with only a few hundred year-round residents hunkered down against the lake-effect snow. This dual identity is what makes Put-in Bay so fascinating. It's a sleepy, isolated island for 8 months of the year and a full-blown, non-stop party for the other 4. It's a place of pure escapism, a summer camp for adults where the only rule is to have fun. The fact that this place even exists in Ohio is weird enough, but the intensity of the party scene makes it a truly unique and wild destination. At number 7, we're stepping back in time to a place that was founded as a real-life utopia, Zoar Village. This isn't a recreation, it's the real deal. Zoar was founded in 1817 by a group of 200 German separatists who were fleeing religious persecution in their home country. They came to Ohio to build a perfect society, and for over 80 years they lived as a completely communal society. Everything, the land, the buildings, the money, was owned by the group as a whole. Walking through Zoar today is a surreal experience. The village has been beautifully preserved, and many of the original 19th century buildings are still standing and in use. You can see the old bakery, the tin shop, the dairy, and the stunning community garden that was designed to represent the New Jerusalem from the Book of Revelation. It's incredibly peaceful and quiet, and it feels like the residents from 1850 could walk around the corner at any moment. The air itself feels heavy with history. The weirdness of Zoar lies in the details of their communal life. For example, for a period of time, the community practiced celibacy to dedicate themselves more fully to God and the community, which is a pretty extreme rule for a growing society. They had their own leaders, their own laws, and operated as a self-sufficient little nation within Ohio. They were incredibly successful, for a time, even helping to dig a major canal for the state. The society eventually dissolved in 1898, but the village remains as a monument to their incredible experiment. It's a town that was literally founded on a set of radical countercultural ideas. It's weird to think that this quiet, beautiful little village was once a hotbed of utopian idealism. Visiting Zoar is like walking through a history book, a quiet but powerful reminder of a group of people who dared to build their own version of paradise on the Ohio frontier. Okay, brace yourselves, because at number 6 we're going to a place that's so infamous it's known by a different name, Helltown. Its official name is Boston Township, or what's left of it, tucked deep inside what is now the Cuyahoga Valley National Park. This place is basically the epicenter of Ohio urban legends. The story goes that in the 1970s, the US government bought out all the homes in the area to make way for the new national park, forcibly evicting all the residents. But then the development kind of stalled, leaving behind a ghost town of abandoned houses. This is where the legends really take over, and honestly, they are wild. People talk about a school bus that was attacked by satanic cultists, leaving behind ghostly children who can still be seen. There's the Crybaby Bridge, where you can supposedly hear an infant crying if you stop your car there at night. There are stories of mutated creatures caused by a supposed chemical spill, a hearse that chases people down the end-of-the-world road, and a church with upside-down crosses that's apparently a hotspot for paranormal activity. Now, are these stories true? Almost certainly not. Most have been debunked. The Satanic Church was just a regular church with some unusual architecture. The road is a dead end because of erosion, not evil. But that doesn't stop this place from being incredibly creepy. Driving through the winding forested roads of Boston Township at night is honestly a genuinely unsettling experience. The abandoned houses, now mostly torn down, and the dense dark woods create an atmosphere that just lets your imagination run wild. Helltown is kind of a perfect storm of creepy folklore. It's a place where local history, government action, and overactive imaginations have all combined to create one of America's great modern legends. The name itself is a testament to its reputation. It's a place that has become famous for being scary, a destination for thrill seekers and ghost hunters for decades. Even if it's all just stories, the legend of Helltown has made this corner of a beautiful national park one of the weirdest and most notorious spots in Ohio. Coming in at number 5 is a town whose weirdness is literally reflected in its population, at least for one weekend a year. This is Twinsburg, Ohio. And, yeah, the name is not a coincidence. The town was founded way back in the early 1800s by identical twin brothers, Moses and Aaron Wilcox. They were so identical that they married identical twin sisters, had the same number of children, and eventually died on the same day, and were buried in the same grave. That's some next-level twin stuff right there. The founder's legacy is honored in the most spectacular way possible, the annual Twins Days Festival. This isn't just a small local gathering, it's actually the largest annual gathering of twins, triplets, and other multiples in the entire world. For one weekend in August, this regular Ohio suburb is just flooded with thousands of pairs of identical faces. Everywhere you look, you're seeing double. It is honestly one of the most surreal and mind-bending things you will ever witness. The festival is a massive celebration of all things multiple birth. There are contests for the most and least alike twins, a talent show, and the famous double-take parade, where hundreds of sets of twins march down the street in matching outfits. Researchers also flock to the festival to conduct studies, making it a valuable event for science too. But for most people, it's just a chance to be in a place where being a twin is the norm, not the exception. Imagine walking through a crowd and literally not being able to trust your own eyes. You see a pair of people walk by, then another, then another. It's a fun, joyful, and deeply strange experience. The entire town of Twinsburg really embraces this identity. It's a place that has turned a historical quirk into a world-famous event. It's a celebration of genetics, family, and the simple, weird fact that sometimes lightning does strike twice. At number 4, we're exploring a town that was, for a brief and intense period, one of the most important religious sites in America, Kirtland. In the 1830s, this small Ohio town became the headquarters for the fledgling Latter-day Saint movement, led by Joseph Smith. Thousands of his followers gathered here to build their community, and they believed that this specific piece of land was a new Zion, a place of divine importance. The centerpiece of Kirtland is the Kirtland Temple, the very first temple built by the movement, and it's an absolutely stunning and unusual building. According to their history, the architectural design was given to Joseph Smith and other church leaders through a series of divine visions. They claim the building was constructed with heavenly assistance, with stories of angelic beings appearing to help with the work. The inside is just as unique, with different floors designed for different levels of spiritual instruction. The history of Kirtland is filled with incredible stories of spiritual fervor. Believers reported seeing visions, speaking in tongues, and witnessing miracles on a regular basis. It was a time of intense religious excitement and experimentation. Joseph Smith himself claimed to have received numerous revelations and visions right here in Kirtland, including a visitation from Jesus Christ himself inside the temple. The town was, in their eyes, a place where heaven and earth were meeting. Today, Kirtland is a quiet town, but it's dotted with beautifully restored historic sites that tell the story of this incredible period. It's weird because it was the site of such a concentrated and powerful burst of religious belief that would go on to shape a major world religion. Walking through Kirtland, you can't help but feel the weight of those beliefs. It's a place built on visions and faith, a quiet town with a history that is anything but. We've talked about a haunted college town, but for our number 3 spot, we're going to a place that claims the title of Ohio's most haunted village, Waynesville. This charming little town, known for its antique shops and historic inns, has a dark side. The locals will tell you that Waynesville is teeming with ghosts, and they have the stories and the tours to prove it. The town has fully embraced its spooky reputation, making it a year-round destination for paranormal enthusiasts. The most famous haunted spot is the Hamel House Inn, a historic hotel that has been operating since the early 1800s. Guests and staff have reported countless strange occurrences, disembodied footsteps, doors opening and closing on their own, and apparitions of former residents. One of the resident ghosts is said to be a young boy who fell down the stairs, and people still claim to hear him running and playing in the halls. It's one of those places where the ghost stories are just part of the check-in process. But it's not just one building, the whole town is in on it. Waynesville is known as the antiques capital of the Midwest, and many shop owners will tell you that some of their oldest items came with a spirit attached. The town offers guided ghost tours where storytellers lead you through dark alleys and historic cemeteries, sharing tales of murder, tragedy, and lingering spirits. They even host a haunted history walk that delves into the real, dark history behind the ghost stories. What makes Waynesville so weird is how casually they blend the charming and the creepy. You can spend the afternoon browsing for quaint antiques, and then spend the evening actively trying to communicate with the dead. The town has commercialized its ghosts, turning its paranormal activity into its main tourist attraction. It's a place that has found a way to make its hauntings a part of its identity, creating a uniquely spooky and historic atmosphere that you won't find anywhere else. Nearing the top of our list, at number 2, we have a town that's both beautiful and bizarre, Marblehead. Perched on the edge of Lake Erie, this town is home to the oldest continuously operating lighthouse on the Great Lakes, the Marblehead Lighthouse. This iconic white tower has been guiding ships since 1822, and it's seen more than its fair share of history, tragedy, and weirdness. The lighthouse itself is the heart of the town, a beautiful structure with a surprisingly dark past. The waters around Marblehead are notoriously treacherous, and the area is known as a graveyard for ships. Over the centuries, countless vessels have been smashed against the rocky shoreline during violent lake storms. These shipwrecks have given rise to tons of local legends and ghost stories. People claim to see phantom ships on foggy nights or hear the cries of drowning sailors carried on the wind. The lighthouse keepers of the past are also said to haunt the tower, still watching over the lake. But the weirdness isn't just about ghosts. The town has a quirky, almost stubborn charm. It's a popular summer spot, but it has resisted becoming overly commercialized, like other lakeside towns. It still feels like a real working fishing village, with a bit of a salty, eccentric attitude. One of the strangest local attractions is the Keeper's House Museum next to the lighthouse, which contains, among other things, a collection of weird and wonderful items found washed up on the shore over the years. Marblehead is a town defined by its relationship with the massive, unpredictable lake it sits on. It's a place of stunning beauty, with amazing views of the water and Kelly's Island in the distance, but it's also a place that respects the lake's power and remembers its victims. The combination of the picturesque lighthouse, the quirky lakeside vibe, and the dark tales of shipwrecks and ghosts makes Marblehead a truly unique and strangely compelling place. It's beautiful, it's a little creepy, and it's unapologetically itself. And here we are, at the number 1 weirdest town in Ohio. After castles, ghosts, and pumpkins, what could possibly top our list? We're heading back to the shores of Lake Erie to the town of Vermilion, a place that takes its local pride to a bizarre and glorious extreme, with the Festival of the Fish. This isn't just a festival, it's the town's entire identity, a multi-day celebration of all things fishy that is absolutely, wonderfully insane. The festival has been happening for over 50 years, and it gets bigger and weirder every year. There are parades, of course, but the main event is the crazy craft race, where people build homemade boats out of junk and try to paddle them down the river. Most of them sink in spectacular fashion. They have fish-themed costumes, sandcastle building contests, and a constant supply of fried perch and walleye sandwiches. The entire town smells like a giant fish fry for 3 straight days, and they love it. But the absolute pinnacle of the weirdness, the thing that puts Vermilion at the top of our list, is the festival's royalty. They don't crown a king and queen. They crown King Perch and Queen Walleye. And other towns crown their own fish royalty, like Queen Carp and King Bullhead, who all come to Vermilion for the main parade. You will see teenage girls in beautiful gowns wearing sashes that say Miss Perch or Miss Smelt. It is a spectacle of such specific and hilarious local pride that you can't help but be amazed. Vermilion is the weirdest town in Ohio because it has created this entire elaborate mythology around the fish in its lake. They have turned a local industry into a full-blown folk religion, with its own royalty, rituals, and celebrations. It's pure, unadulterated, joyful weirdness. It's a town that isn't afraid to be silly, to put on a fish costume, and to declare to the world that they are the proud home of King Perch. For that level of commitment to the absurd, Vermilion is, without a doubt, the weirdest town in Ohio. And there you have it. 15 of the absolute weirdest, most fascinating and unforgettable towns in Ohio. From a real-life castle built by one man to a town that crowns a fish as its king, we've seen a side of this state that most people have no idea exists. These places prove that no matter where you go, if you look just a little bit closer, you can find incredible stories, passionate people, and a healthy dose of pure, unapologetic weirdness. Ohio is so much more than just farmland and highways. It's a living museum of American eccentricity, and we only just scratched the surface. This journey has been absolutely wild. It reminds you that the best adventures are often hidden in the places you least expect. These communities aren't just weird for the sake of being weird. They are celebrating their unique histories, their passions, and the things that make them different. They are proud of their quirks, and that's what makes them so special. It makes you wonder what other strange and wonderful towns are hiding all across the country, just waiting to be explored. We might have to do this for every single state. So next time you think you know Ohio, remember these 15 towns and their proudly weird side. Which one would you visit first? The Haunted Village, the Party Island, or the Town of Twins? Let us know in the comments. And if you're from a weird town we missed, tell us about it below. Thanks for watching. Subscribe so you don't miss our next crazy adventure, and we'll see you in the next video.